People assume that YouTubers make most of their money from AdSense. AdSense being what YouTube calls it when they pay creators for the ads that they put on your videos. YouTube pays 55% of all revenues collected from advertisers out to creators whose videos those ads are placed on. But the truth is way more interesting than that. Today I'm breaking down my 6 different revenue streams, the ways I make money with this channel as a solo creator, the real split, the real numbers, and the part that surprised even me. I started my channel in January of 2021. And didn't get monetized through YouTube until June of 2024. Okay, so that was 3.5 years. It wasn't 3.5 years of grinding and hard work. There were spurts of that, but the majority of that time was spent on breaks because I was not sure what I was doing. I didn't know if I had selected the right niche. Several times throughout that journey, I got discouraged and gave up. It was only the last few months before I got monetized where I had a plan, and I executed it, and I was making lots of content that things really started to turn around. But I want to stress that even though I'm about to talk to you about my 6 income streams, revenue streams, I did not start them all at the same time. They occurred over time, over a couple of years. And I also want to stress that the 6 income streams that I earn money from are not the only ones you can earn money from. There are a couple of really big ones that may suit your channel better than the ones that I've used. Before I get into my 6 main streams, I want to talk about something that actually brings in $0 because people keep asking me about it, and that's shorts. Now I do post shorts, but here's where I'm a little bit different than most people who will tell you to post shorts, and that's that I'm not trying to go viral with them. And honestly, if you're trying to build a long form channel like I am, I don't think you should be chasing viral shorts. Think about it. A short goes viral, you get this flood of new subscribers, but very few of them ever are going to sit down to watch a long form video. They watch shorts because they like the quick hits. They're not interested in a 12-minute video. So you'd end up with this big subscriber number of people that aren't going to watch your real content. That's not growth. That's a vanity number. So what are shorts for then? Well, for me, they're branding. It's a way to get my face out there when people are between my long form videos. I don't make a long form video, all the time. I take breaks, right? And having a short exist between your long form videos kind of fills in the gaps. So if one of my viewers is scrolling through shorts or TikToks or Reels and my face pops up, there's a little bit of a reminder there that they'll say, oh yeah, this guy, I should check out one of his videos, or I should check out his latest video, right? They're already subscribers of mine. Those are the people I'm targeting with my shorts. So that's the whole job of my shorts. Not to go viral, not to make money, but just to put my face out there, to stay in front of people. And the only reason I even bother with shorts as a one-man operation who does all the filming, all the editing, and I answer all my comments, the only reason I can even bother with it is Nexus Clips. With Nexus Clips, I can take my long form videos, automatically find the moments worth clipping, cut them out to vertical, and even caption them. So instead of me doing any of that by hand, I open it up and the clips are basically done. I just pick the good ones and post them to YouTube as a short, to TikTok, and to Instagram as a reel. That's it. That's how I can put my face out there without it eating up my whole week. If you're interested in taking a look, I'll put a link in the description below. And if you use my discount code, you'll get a discount. So now let's get into the 6 revenue streams that pay my bills. Smallest first. And these are my 2025 numbers. I've written them down because there's no way I'd be able to remember all these. But my smallest one for 2025 was affiliate revenue. 4% of my revenue came from affiliates, affiliate streams, affiliate links, right? Which accounted for $4,388. This is not something I started right away. In fact, I started my affiliate links, affiliate revenue building, about a year before I got monetized. And the way I started was not necessarily the obvious one. I chose a software company whose software I used regularly, and I started to promote it. And they had an affiliate program, right? So the obvious one is Amazon affiliate program. And I did sign up for that pretty much at the same time, 2023, I'm going to say. But I had a couple of false starts with that because with Amazon, you need to earn a certain amount within the first 3 months of signing up to their program. And I didn't for the first 3 months, or I don't even think the second 3 months. So I had to reapply. In addition to that, there was a software company. So in my case, that was Camtasia, right? They have an affiliate program that I signed up for, and I started to promote that. So that started earlier, and I have since added things since then, right? Other software that I use that I've added to my affiliate program, and of course, Amazon. And where you'll see those is in my video descriptions. You'll be able to see links to Amazon products, right? The things that I use and recommend. So yeah, if anybody clicks any of those links and gets taken to the Amazon page and buys anything, it doesn't even have to be what they clicked to see. If they buy anything when they're there, I think it's within 24 hours, I will earn a small commission. Okay, but that made up 4% in 2025. My next largest income stream is brand sponsorships. And in 2025, they earned me 5% of my total revenue, or $5,182. And for that one, I didn't start that until, what was it, mid-2024. Okay, so, and I've had a few. I've had 4 or 5 actually different companies that I've worked with over the years. And that's something you can grow later, right? Like that'll come. As soon as your channel starts getting legs, starts bringing in subscribers, you know, brand sponsors look at that. They look at how many subscribers you have. They look at how many views your videos get, right? That all goes into the calculation. And the first time you work with brand sponsors, they'll likely offer you free product, free software, right, instead of cash. So that's usually how it starts, but that's one thing you can build up over time. These flies are... So yeah, that was the second one. Third on my list is course sales, 18% of my revenue, and it totaled $17,963. This may or may not be something you'd be interested in. It's going to depend on what you do, what you talk about in your channel. With my background being, software based, where I was making tutorials on how to edit software, and also making tutorial videos for companies who wanted tutorial videos on their websites or within their corporations. That's what I used to do before I started YouTube. So that's something that I got fairly good at, making videos where I'm sharing my screen and going through things like that. So making tutorial videos that I could package into a course was something I had always thought would be probably my primary way to make money with my YouTube channel. And so I started that, I think, shortly after I got monetized. So mid 2024, I think it was the end of the summer, maybe August 2024, I came out with my first course. I have 3 of them now, so that is number 3 on my list. My fourth revenue stream is coaching. In 2025, it accounted for 20% of my revenue, $19,697. And I started that in late 2024. That was not something I set out to do initially. It kind of evolved, and it started with people asking me for help, asking me to have calls with me, Zoom calls and things like that. So, it's one of those things that you can kind of start out offering for free until you get too busy that you just can't satisfy the demand, and then you have to start charging for it. Which is great. It's funny because it's, again, not the thing not the thing I initially set out to for it to be one of my main revenue streams. Again, I thought it was courses was going to be the answer for me, but this coaching thing grew on me. I started offering it, started having calls. People were very happy with the calls, and I love doing it. So, yeah, that was a pleasant surprise for me. And it's something I still offer, and I don't plan on stopping offering it. I just love it. Number 5 on my list is mentorship. 25% of my revenue and $24,548 came from my mentorship program. This is something I evolved over the course of 2025. So the coaching started in 2024. And then it was 2025 when I started offering a mentorship program, which started out as basically a bunch, like a set of coaching calls right? Because it's hard to, teach everybody or tell everybody, tell someone everything you need to do in order to grow your channel or get unstuck or start a YouTube channel, right? You can't cover all that in one call, typically. So in a lot of cases, people would come back to me wanting additional calls. And so I decided to create packages, and I called it a mentorship program. And I think it was early 2025 that I started that. Did that for a while, but the whole time was kind of working on something a little different, a little more involved, group coaching, things like that. And I came up with the Creators Growth Project, which I launched at the end of 2025. So that is what I now call my mentorship program. It's evolved and it's become a significant part of my business. And again, it's another thing that I love to do. Now, if you're keeping track, the last three that I talked about, the course sales, the coaching, and the mentorship, coaching and mentorship are very similar. Courses are slightly different, but all three of them are teaching. They're helping. They're helping people learn how to do things through teaching, coaching, whatever you want to call it. But those three together could be lumped together, and they make up over 60% of my revenue. That is a real eye-opener. That is one of the main things most people don't get about YouTube, is that you can earn far more money by teaching and helping people how to do something than just by the ads that YouTube pays you money for. My sixth revenue stream is, in fact, AdSense from YouTube. Makes up 28% of my income, or it did in 2025, $28,310. So that is what most people talk about. That's what most people are chasing when they start their channels. Like, I want to be monetized. It's a great goal to have, but I can't stress enough that it's not the be all and end all. It's awesome. But I'll tell you, most people who run successful YouTube channels treat AdSense as a bonus. It's not predictable. You can't tell how much you're going to make from month to month. It depends highly on how well your videos do. So that, you could fall into a trap there by chasing views rather than providing people, help, your subscribers, the help they actually need. So yeah, I've made a video in the past talking about this and the inconsistency of AdSense and the fact that it doesn't even correlate to subscribers, right? One of my best AdSense months was one of my first because I had a viral video. And I think I had between 3,000 and 16,000 subscribers at the time, a really good month. Compare that to right before I hit 100,000 subscribers, my AdSense month was very similar to that good one back in 2024. So you can't correlate the number of subscribers a channel has to how much money it makes month to month. So yes, in 2025, AdSense was my biggest piece of the pie at 28%, but it wasn't the majority of the pie. So now I want to give you a permission slip and then close with 3 lessons that I learned. If you're in your 40s, 50s, 60s, whatever, and you're considering starting a YouTube channel and you think it might be too late, it absolutely is not. I was in my 50s 2 years ago when, with a struggling YouTube channel, making no money from it. And 2 years ago, I had around 3,000 subscribers. And I've built all that in my 50s. And I didn't build it by starting to build revenue streams. I built it by making videos that people wanted to watch. Right? So I was building trust. I was being as helpful as I possibly could. What are the 3 lessons I learned? Number 1, AdSense is not the goal. Don't chase YouTube monetization. That piece of the pie is smaller than most people think, and you can start earning other ways and much more in the other ways, right? It's a small piece of the pie. Lesson 2, the real money is in teaching people what you know. Help them out, teach a skill, and you can monetize that, right? 63% of my income comes from teaching and helping. And lesson 3, it's not the channel that pays you, it's the trust. The trust that you build up while growing your channel, increase subscribers, increase number of people who watch your videos that you're making to help people with something. You're building trust. That is what you can monetize later, and that could be your biggest chunk of revenue. And real quick before I go, if you're looking for other ways to monetize your channel besides the ways that I do it, a couple ways are digital products like downloads, templates, Canva templates maybe, Excel spreadsheets, video editing templates, right? You can create guides to be, to help people through things. Some people sell things like that on channels like Etsy. You can create merchandise, right? If you have a logo or a slogan or a saying, you can create t-shirts or hats or mugs or things like that you could sell to people. That's another way to monetize your channel. You can offer consulting. I think I mentioned that earlier, right? That's, I guess, I look at consulting and coaching as similar, but I guess they're a little bit different. Yeah, I guess consulting could be something like done for you service. Like if you actually do work for somebody, something they don't want to do. Like in my case, I help people learn how to do things, like I teach. Whereas, if somebody wanted to, like somebody in my space, if they wanted to actually make YouTube channels for people and upload videos for people, create thumbnails for people, that would be consulting. So that's another way. If you have any other ideas, I'd love to hear them. Like if you are a established YouTuber watching this video, do me a favor and write it below. Like, how are you monetizing your channel? Or what do you think are other good ways to monetize a channel besides AdSense? I'd love to hear, and I think a lot of people who watch this video, watch my content, would also love to know. All right? Again, any questions, let me know. My name is Rob. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.